All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Kakadash. All right, Shalom to the hopeful elect, Akim and Aqua around the four corners of the globe. All right, and the remnant, the men, women, and children that are prophesied to return to the truth. All right, of the scriptures. All right, and the true names of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, and the true faith. All right, Shalom to you all. All right, I just want to go into these articles real quick. All right, another day, all right, closer to the return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, all right, and the establishing of the kingdom of heaven. All right. And there's so many things going on, but one of the major things we see happening is that America, all right, Babylon the Great in the scriptures, all right, is really beginning to what's the word I can use? Really beginning to just disregard, all right, straight up disrespect and disregard, our allies, all right. And we understand that in the scriptures, when you're talking about the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, all right, ultimately that's going into NATO and the EU, all right, which is headed by America, all right, headed by Babylon the Great. All right. And we understand that according to the scriptures, according to the prophecies, our allies are going to turn on us. All right. And America will be destroyed by ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right. That is the lake of fire that the scriptures speak of. Okay. And what we see now is the beginning phases, all right, of this crumbling, all right, of NATO. All right. And it's beautiful to see, because this place is truly wicked. All right. When you go into the history, when you see the different decrees, and the laws that go forth, all right, it should be a joy to you that this place is about to be destroyed, all right, and Yahweh Shem Shai is setting the stage for it. All right, so let's get right into this. This is an article I found on Fox News. It says Biden double crosses France. President's errors have allies questioning his competence. All right, it says the Biden administration's unforced errors in foreign affairs keep on mounting. All right. All right, it says the Biden administration's unforced errors in foreign affairs keep on mounting. First was the deadly botched exit from Afghanistan and ensuing humanitarian disaster. Then came the Pentagon's belated disclosure that its August 29th drone strike in Kabul killing 10 civilians, 7 of them children, which the Defense Department mischaracterized for weeks, was in fact a mistake, or as the Pentagon spokesman put it, a horrible tragedy of war. So, we have all these different, situations, going on, with one of them being, the innocent or the blood of 10 innocent civilians being shed. All right. And that's nothing new. All right. Remember, and one of the stand-ups that Cat Williams did, it was years ago, the joke that he made about insurgents, on how, the U.S. military would kill civilians and then they would rename them insurgents on the mainstream media, and the American people would laugh at it, thinking it's funny, and these type of things are going to be what goes around, if you will. All right. That karma is going to come back on this place. All right. And it's going to be beautiful to see, Lord willing, we are, delivered, all right, and preserved in that day. That is the hope, But, I really just wanted to touch on the fact that it's really starting to become obvious, the fragility, all right, the brittleness of the relationships between America, Babylon the Great, and our allies, and that is ultimately goes back to the scriptures, right? When the scriptures talk about the iron mixed with miry clay, all right, as a unit, as an alliance, NATO is very, formidable, is very strong, all right, and there's nothing to play with, all right, and that's why these other nations around the planet Earth have been chilling for the most part. However, the relationships between the nations is what's fragile. Okay, so we see Biden, you know, mishandling and making, some bad decisions. All right, whether this was pre-planned, you know what I mean, or this is legitimate, I don't know. But regardless, it is a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. All right, and that's why I wanted to get into it. All right, let me scroll down. It says Biden administration officials have downplayed France's fury, all right, as a disagreement between good friends, while defending the sale as essential to bolstering Australia's and the West's ability to counter China's growing military assertiveness in the Indo-Pacific. All right. So, they're basically claiming, that this was done, all right, because of the aggressiveness that China has been showing over the last, 6 months to a year and so on. All right. And we can see, it's clear as day, that this is all building up to World War III, all right, which is biblical, the third woe. This is where it's headed. All right. Let me go to the next article, because I just want to pay attention to the word choice, in these articles more than anything, because it's being reported, as relatively serious, relatively serious. And nobody, like, as usual, nobody is really paying attention to this, at all. People are just going on with their everyday lives. Like shit is sweet out here. All right. But these other nations, are plotting our destruction, and ultimately they will destroy us. All right. And it is all the will of the Lord. It is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Okay. So let me get into this next article. It says France accuses Australia, U.S. of lying in an escalating crisis. France on Saturday accused Australia and the United States of lying over a ruptured Australian contract to buy French submarines, saying a grave crisis was underway between allies. French President Emmanuel Macron on Friday recalled the ambassadors to Canberra and Washington in an unprecedented move to signal his fury over Australia's decision to break a deal for the French submarines in favor of American nuclear-powered vessels. All right. So another important thing to, notice in this is that the dispersion of nuclear-powered, all right, vessels, all right, is increasing. Because originally, according to the information, they were originally going to purchase, submarines that weren't, nuclear powered or didn't have nuclear capabilities, so to speak. But now Australia, has made a deal with the U.S. All right. So we're seeing, nuclear powered vessels, starting to come to the forefront more and more and more. All right. And best believe that they're going to be used. All right. Best believe they're going to be used. All right. Yeah. Why do you think Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave, the devil, all right, the red horse that the scriptures speak of, Esau, Edom? Why do you think the Lord gave them the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to create these things? All right. And not only did they create them, but they spread them and they gave the technology to other countries. So now we're here in 2021, going into 2022, and you have a large number of, nukes on the planet Earth, and they are going to be used. All right. Best believe. All right. Let me skip down. It says there has been lying, duplicity, a major breach of trust and contempt. Le Drian said, "This will not do." All right, let me look up that word duplicity real quick. I thought that was an interesting word. It says deceitfulness. Wow, deceitfulness, double dealing, deceitfulness, deceit, deception. All right, and that's the devil for you. All right, that's the devil. The scriptures speak about that. All right, let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, because the scriptures, go into that. All right, and this is nothing new. The devil has been lying, since he was created. That's what he was created to do. All right, he was given the sword. All right, and he was given deceit and craft. All right, this is Psalms 52:1. It says, a Psalm of David when Doeg the Edomite. All right, and according to the scriptures, the wicked. All right, the devil is Esau, Edom. It is the so-called Edomites. All right, the word devil just means deceiver. All right, the devil is not a 2-foot guy in a red spandex suit. All right, and a pitchfork. Okay, the devil is just means the deceiver. Okay. When Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul and said unto him, David is come to the house of Amalek. Why boastest thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of God endureth continually. All right, and here's the point. Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs like a sharp razor working deceitfully. All right, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. Selah. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. All right. And all these other nations are starting to realize, how much of a, habitual liar that these elites, all right, are. They have finessed the entire world. Okay, they have deceived the entire world, like the scriptures say. And these other nations are finally about to get a dose of reality. All right, they're going to realize that they have been getting played this entire time. All right, and France is just the most recent. But I also thought it was interesting. They have a map of nuclear submarines. It says the world's nuclear submarines. Only 6 countries currently possess nuclear power subs. They said only. Man, can't make it up. It says United States has 72, China has 12, Russia 32, Britain 11, France 8. And these are just ones we know of. There are more likely way, way, way more than this. All right. Let me keep going. It says Biden announced that the new Australia-US-Britain Defense Alliance on Wednesday, extending American nuclear submarine technology to Australia, as well as cyber defense, applied artificial intelligence, and undersea capabilities. The pact is widely seen as aimed at countering the rise of China. The move infuriated France, which lost a contract to supply conventional submarines to Australia that was worth $50 billion when signed in 2016. Beijing, and this is an important part as well, because not only are they disrespecting France, but they're also playing with their pockets. All right, they're also playing with their money. All right, and that's a no. All right, hey, everybody, that's a pretty commonly known, custom, if you will. When you start playing with people's money, it's a different ball game. But I thought this last point in the article was pretty heavy. It says Beijing described the new alliance as extremely irresponsible threat to the regional stability, questioning Australia's commitment to nuclear non-proliferation and warning the Western allies that they risked shooting themselves in the foot. That is heavy words from Beijing, man. So it's looking like things are definitely heating up. All right. We are right on the cusp of World War III. We are right on the cusp of the Great Tribulation. All right. War, death, destruction, famine, all right, drought, you know, we're coming into some unprecedented times, man. Unprecedented. All right, so let me get this last article. It's just going into the Afghan withdrawal. Just wanted to grab a few quick points on that. But before I get that, let me grab a scripture real quick. This is Ecclesiastes 14 and 15. It says, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods." All right. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? All right. And when you look at, the international banking families, all right, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, et cetera, who are right, Amalekites, Temanites, the chief houses of Esau, Edom, the people that run the world. When you really consider the things that they're doing, you start to understand that they don't even give a damn about their own people. They don't give a damn about these everyday Edomites and these average Joe Edomites. That's why they're so upset. That's why we're seeing, such an uproar in America, because these white people, so-called white people, all right, because this is not about skin color, this is about bloodline, all right, and your heritage according to the scriptures. All right, the reason we see all these Edomites getting upset is because they're finally starting to realize that their own people, don't give a damn about them. All right, their own people are getting ready to get rid of their own people. They don't care. All right, and that's just how he was designed. He wasn't designed to promote, loyalty and honor and integrity. No, he was created to be the devil. All right, and that's what Christian church and that's what people are not seeming to understand. All right. All right, this is another one. 2 Ezra 15:5. It says, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction." All right. And that is coming, man. The sword. All right. World War III, that is coming soon. All right. And there's nothing you're going to be able to do carnally that will save you. All right. If the Lord wants to touch you, if the Lord wants to judge you, you will be judged. All right. There's nothing you can do about it. The only people that are going to be preserved are the Lord's chosen, are the Lord's elect. All right. And even some of us are going to be persecuted. All right. And imprisoned. All right. And other things. All right. But ultimately, the only ones that are going to be comforted, all right, the only ones that are going to be able to endure, all right, are the Lord's, elect. All right. The ones who come under the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right. And have faith. All right. So let me get another one. This is Revelations 16, or Revelation 17 and 16. I'll skip down to 16. And like I said before, when you read Revelations, the 13th chapter, in the first verse, it goes into the beast coming out of the sea, all right, with 7 heads and 10 horns. And that is NATO and the EU, all right? That is that alliance of nations, all right? And Revelation goes into that. But this is verse 16. It says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast," all right, going into these other nations, "these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words shall be fulfilled." All right. "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city," all right, Babylon the Great, America, "which reigneth over the kings of the earth." All right. And that's what we're going into. We're going into the beginning stages, all right, of the crumbling of NATO, all right, a beginning of the souring, all right, of the relationship between America and all these other nations. okay, including its so-called allies. All right, so let me get one more point in this article, and I'll go ahead and close out. It says Afghan withdrawal raises questions about United States Gulf Arab officials say. All right, the United States' chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan has raised questions for its Arab allies in the Middle East about whether or not they can continue to rely on Washington. All right, and that's another trend that's starting to take place. These other nations, not only are they getting disrespected and disregarded by the US, but they're losing trust in the US ability to defend them. All right, which means they will seek out that refuge elsewhere. All right, aka Russia and China. All right, and these are all, this is just a preview of what's to come. All right, so Lord willing, that this was edifying. Until the next time, I'll say shalom.